Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 10 of the Immigrants Life podcast, where we share stories of people who left their country to chase a better life. I'm Daniel DiBiase, and my guest this week is originally from Vancouver, Canada. She met her husband Mason when we were traveling. They got together and were planning to move to Hawaii. Their plan changed when her husband got deported from overstaying in Canada. They now live in Las Vegas in the US, where they got married. In this episode, she shares her traveling experience and immigration process to get her Fiancé Visa. So please enjoy this episode with Lisa. Hi Lisa, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm good. It's hot here in Las Vegas right now.
How hot is it?
It's in the 40s, like Celsius this time of year, but it's a dry heat, so it's not like you're not sweating. It just feels like you're in an oven a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, 40 and dry is not actually too bad. I was talking to my family in Italy and they were like a 42, and then usually it's 100% humidity.
Yeah, no, that's too crazy.
I'm so glad I don't live in Italy anymore.
Yeah, I bet.
So you live in Vegas now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you are from Canada?
Yes.
Where specifically? From Vancouver?
Yeah, Vancouver area.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
And what age did you leave Canada?
So kind of a long story because I did some traveling. So when I was 20, I went down to the Cayman Islands and I lived there for a little over a year. So that was kind of the first leave of Canada. And then after that, I spent some time in New York. My brother was living there. And then me and my best friend from Canada decided to do a backpacking trip through Thailand. Well, through Greece and Thailand, actually. And then that's where I met my husband, who's from California. So we ended up going back to California together, and then we went back to Canada. And then we were there for like 2.5 years, and we were like engaged almost like right away when we met, but we hadn't got married yet. And so we were in Canada for like 2.5 years, and somehow they found out that he was there. And so he actually got deported from Canada. So we were like, okay, we'll move back to the States.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
So moving to the States was kind of like a forced decision.
No, we actually had planned on we were planning on moving back. We were already in the process of like applying for a Fiancé Visa. So we were planning on moving to Hawaii, and that was kind of always like the end game. But he had to leave a lot sooner than that. So it was really funny. Like, I had never been to Las Vegas. He'd been a bunch of times because he grew up in California. But it's like at least back then, it's still pretty cheap place to live. Like, cost of living's pretty low, and then you can make good money here. So, and he was really into poker at the time. So he's like, okay, well, I'll go to Vegas. We'll live there for like a year, and then we'll go to Hawaii. I was like, okay. So, we landed in Vegas. Well, he had to go, and then I was able to meet up with him 6 months later because I had to wait for the Fiancé Visa to go through. And then, we just pushed it back like another couple of years to Hawaii, and then we just kind of got settled here, and like now Vegas is home, and we've been here 10 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a few questions for you.
Yeah.
Let's go back. So you said you travel for a bit. So I guess when you traveled, your idea wasn't just to travel, visit the world, and now really to move away from Canada. The idea was not to emigrate at that point, right?
Right. It was just travel. Yeah, at that point.
And you were talking about the visa, the Fiancé Visa. How easy was to get that visa? What was the process to get to that one?
I went actually through a company called Visa Pro, which is it's lawyers, but it's cheaper than hiring like one lawyer just for you. And my friend Miranda had used them previously because she had emigrated to Florida like a few years before. So it wasn't too hard. It was just a whole lot of paperwork. And I think they, like, in total for the Fiancé Visa and then for, like, the full, green card visa was, I think, around, like, $4,000 Canadian back then. So, but that was over the course of, like, 2 years. But, yeah, it was definitely, I just filled out all the paperwork, and they kind of did all the, like, lawyer work and stuff. So it was easier. I didn't have to worry about making mistakes or anything.
Okay, but at this point, you guys were not married yet, right?
Right, yeah, but we were engaged. We were planning on moving. When he got deported, we were already planning on moving back to the States like about 6 months later because that's how long the Fiancé Visa takes, according to Visa Pro. And that's about how long it did take. And then I think the full thing So visa, I got in on a fiancé visa. We got married here in Vegas. And then I immediately applied for the green card visa. And I think that took about another 6 months after that. So the whole process was probably about a year.
It would have been easier if you guys were married when you applied for the visa, or would have been no difference?
So, I mean, we just wanted to do it like the correct way so no one like wouldn't get easily denied or anything because we were not already living in the States. So I know that if you're living in the U.S. and you're like on a visitor visa or like a student visa or something, and then you find someone and fall in love and you're already living here, then you would just, you get married and apply for like the regular green card visa. But because we weren't living in the U.S. at the time, and if you know that you're going to get married, you have to apply for that fiancé visa. I mean, or you can be shady and like just go in and be like, oh yeah, we met here. But I didn't want to like lie or make any like thing that they would deny me or not allow me in. So we just did everything by the books.
And why you guys stayed in Vegas? Because at the beginning it was just an idea to stay there for a little bit and then move to Hawaii. So what made you stay in Vegas?
Well, I know Hawaii is like a lot more expensive to live there. So we were like just trying to save up a bit more money. And then we moved into like a couple different places. And then, I don't know, I really got like a really good core group of friends here. And I don't know, just Vegas, it's so easy to live here because it's easy to fly anywhere. Well, it used to be before COVID. And then just like the cost of living is really low here and you can make good money. So there, you can just save more money and, yeah, it's just easier to live here. We're in like a normal city, you'd be paying like well over $1,000 for like a tiny apartment. We had like a small house for $1,000 of rent. And now we bought a house for like $320,000 and it's like 2,000 square feet. So that's a lot more expensive in like most other places. Like you can't even live in California anymore. It's like so crazy. So yeah, it's just easy to live here. And like we just kind of settled in and met good people and yeah. It just kind of happened. We kept pushing back the date, and then finally we were just like, maybe we should just like put roots down here. Like, okay, we'll do it.
And about your marriage in Vegas, because every time I hear somebody get married in Vegas, I mean, most of all, I heard in the movie they get married in Vegas because they're drunk. It was I guess yours was like a proper wedding. Was it like a kind of weird to get married in Vegas, or? So
yeah, like I said, I had nenever been here before, so I was just like, okay, whatever. But we definitely did like the whole Vegas thing. We hired like a mobile Elvis to come. We basically did it. It's like this lounge, but Mason was doing club promoting for that place. So we just basically got in a 2-hour window to have it just to ourselves. So it was like the very top of Mandalay Bay. We had the back room all to ourselves for a couple hours. So we hired this like Elvis impersonator who does weddings and he came. And so it was basically like we just kind of had a party and like all our friends and family came, and it wasn't really like a seated thing. It was just like catered food, but like no one was sitting anywhere. So we did the wedding, had a party, got married in the middle of it, and then we just kept partying. And at 10 o'clock, we had it from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then at 10 o'clock, it opened to the public. So like as a nightclub. So we just stayed there. And yeah, it was really fun, actually. Fun and easy.
Nice. Yeah, because as I said, every time I hear somebody getting married in Vegas, it's always, it's usually like a mistake. And or something. Even my cousin got married in Vegas, but they were like traveling around America and the US. Like, oh, why not get married in Vegas?
Yeah.
They went back to Italy. They haven't got married yet, so it's not valid. So they are technically not married in Italy. But because they were in Vegas, like, why not? It's something to do. It's something that
it's kind of something that people do in Vegas just because of all the little chapels and like it's just like such a thing here, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a tourist kind of thing. They say they send up pictures to their mother, like my aunt, and say like, "Oh, mom, by the way, we got married." Yeah. They were like dressed like a normally. They would just got married because that's something you normally do in Vegas, right?
Yeah, they even have drive-through weddings. You can drive through and get married at this one chapel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird.
But that's actually, I mean, if you live in the U.S., that's totally legal, right? You're legally married.
Yeah, so you do still have to go to the courthouse and get the. I can't even remember what it's called. Like the marriage papers that people have to sign. And I don't think it's as fast as it used to be. I think you have to like wait a day or something, but still pretty fast. But yeah. And then you just go through the drive-thru and you're done.
Okay. So if you go to the drive-through where you get married there, that doesn't. It's not technically married.
I think you still have to get. Well, you have to get the marriage license ahead of time, and then they sign it like there. But I think it takes like 24 hours to get the marriage license.
Oh, okay. So it's not like in the movies you get drunk and go to the chapel, you get married, and the next day you're married.
I think it used to be, and then they switched that up a little bit.
They changed it. Yeah, I think that was a smart move.
Yeah, probably.
And do you have any regrets about leaving Canada?
My probably only regret is like the healthcare system, because it's stupid down here and it's like really expensive. And like I think I was paying like regular healthcare like $55 when I was in Canada, and then like here I pay like $205 every month, and I like don't even ever use it. Yeah. Okay. And then I also miss like the green. Like, I feel like I went from one extreme of, like, the Pacific Northwest rainforest and, like, to the dry desert. Like, there's some beautiful nature here, but it's, like, every time I go home in the summertime, I'm just like, oh, my God, this is what trees look like and green, and it's so pretty. So I do miss that, but I like the warmer weather, definitely.
So is your husband now, is he able to move back to Canada, or, like, at least visiting Canada after he's been deported?
Yeah, he can visit. Yeah, so, I mean, I think he just wasn't allowed back for 2 years. It's different. I feel like when you get deported from the U.S., like, you're never allowed back, but Canada, they don't really care. So, basically, whenever we go back together now, they just, like, asking questions like, oh, did you have something on your passport, or, like, a red mark or something? And so he just has to explain what happened and then prove that he has a plane ticket back.
Okay.
He's not staying.
And what was your biggest upside about immigrating, about moving to the US?
Probably, well, I mean, for me, probably the weather. I just, like, love the sunshine, and Vancouver doesn't get a whole lot of that most of the year. So, yeah, definitely the warmer weather, and then just the ability to, like, I work in the service industry, so it's pretty good money, like, working on the Strip. And then the cost of living is low, so that's a nice bonus. We're able to, like, save money, and now we bought a house, which we would never have been able to buy in Vancouver. Like, I barely get, like, a shack in Mission probably for what we paid for this house. So, yeah, definitely that.
Okay, it sounds like the whole process, like, for you to move into the US was fairly easy. But did you have any, like, a big challenges or anything?
I don't think so. No, I like using the visa company. I know it like probably costs a lot more than just doing it myself, but it definitely took a lot of the worry about like filling something out wrong or something. I was just like really nervous because I had to have an interview before they officially like accepted my my visa. So I was like so nervous for it. I was like shaking like crazy. And then the guy ended up being so nice. It was an American guy, but he was working at the consulate, so that's where I had my interview in Vancouver. And he was so nice. He's just like, oh, I love young love and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, you're so nice. Why was I so afraid of you?
Are you talking about the interview for the visa, to prove that you were a couple?
Yeah. They interview you to make sure that, like, to feel you out, make sure that you're not, like, lying just to get a visa. Yeah.
It was only one time interview, or was it like a multiple session?
No, it was that one interview in Vancouver. That was just me because Mason was already in the States. And then at our 2-year mark, when I went, at 2 years, you go from having like a temporary green card to like the full green card that lasts like 10 years, which I need to renew actually in a few years. But yeah, at the 2-year mark, you have another interview together and they kind of assess you again and make sure that you're still like a legit couple and everything. Yeah.
So you both of you had to take this interview, or just you?
Both of us had to do the second one, but it was just me for the first one because Mason wasn't.
Okay, so they didn't even check. It was your partners to see if the answer were the same. They just trusted you.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was just kind of interviewing me and asking our story, but like at that point, Mason was deported, so maybe if he was there still, he would have come with me, but he wasn't able to. So I can't remember if they wanted him to come or if I honestly can't remember. But he wasn't able to come because he wasn't allowed in Canada, and I wasn't allowed in the States for like 6 months. So.
Okay, so I thought maybe one interview would happen in Canada and one maybe from somebody else in the US from this part. Yeah. The second one was definitely both of us, just so they could see that we're a real couple. Sweet. Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you feel lucky to be an immigrant?
Yeah, I do. Definitely this day and age, you see like all the crazy stuff that Trump's doing, like with the Mexicans and like deporting people back there. Like I can't even imagine what that feels like. So yeah, I definitely feel very blessed and lucky that I got through this process and don't have to worry about getting kicked out,
And can you so you say you have to renew your green card. At some point, can you become like a fully U.S. citizen? Or?
Yeah, I think I can now. I mean, I think you can after 5 years. I haven't. I should probably look into that too. But I just would never want to give up my Canadian citizenship. So I think someone told me who went through the process that like they don't ask you to give it up, but they just don't really talk about it. So yeah, I think you can have dual. It's just not like officially you have dual, but yeah, I would never give up my Canadian because I want an escape plan.
No, fair enough. No, fair enough.
Yeah.
But would it be any? I mean, the only difference if you become a fully U.S. citizen would be that you don't have to renew your visa or your green card every 10 years, right?
Correct. And also, as a green card holder, like a resident, I can't vote. So I can't vote. And then the other thing is I can't leave the country, the U.S., for more than 6 months. Because if I do, then I lose my status. Like if I live somewhere else for 6 months.
Oh, okay.
As a green card holder, yeah. But if I was a citizen, it wouldn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 months in a year would be like a big holiday, unless you planning to do like here, how you call it, a sabbatic year.
Yeah.
6 months of holiday, I think is more than enough.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you could go back in time, is there anything that you wouldn't done differently?
No, I don't think so. I think everything kind of like worked out as it was meant to. Yeah, I feel confident about that.
Okay. Yeah, pretty much run out of question. I thought it would be longer, but no, it was pretty straightforward. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
Just that, I don't know, it was funny because I always wanted to live in the States, like when I stayed with my brother for a while, and then then we went traveling, me and my friend, and you just like never know when you're going to find love. It's like you find it when you're not looking for it. So it's just like everything just worked out so funny.
And for how long have you been traveling?
Probably like 2.5 years, 2.5, 3 years.
Like 2.5 years, like a fully traveling, like you left Canada, you travel for the full 2.5 years or like on and off?
Yeah, like on and off. Well, I went to the Caymans and then I went to New York for a while. I was going to go back to Caymans, but then there was like a big Hurricane Ivan, and it kind of destroyed the island. So I went back to Canada for a little bit, and then back to New York, and then to Thailand. Well, Greece and Thailand, and then California, and then back to Canada.
Okay. At this point, you were just traveling, or you were working and traveling at the same time?
Well, I was working in the Caymans, but the rest was just kind of traveling. Like I used to DJ, so I would DJ here and there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where's the Cayman?
Oh, Cayman Islands. It's in the Caribbean, like kind of by Cuba. It's a really small island. Yes. It's like British owned, I believe, or it's part of the British Commonwealth. And
why did you decide to go there?
So a friend of ours, who is a DJ, he moved down there, and then he invited me and my other friend Landon to go down there to DJ and then like bartend in the nightclub he was working at, and we were both just kind of like, okay. Like we're planning on just like going for a year and then coming back, and then he ended up staying a lot longer, and then I kind of like never really fully came back. Once you catch that travel bug, I mean, you're like 20 years old and you're like living on a beach in paradise. It's like that was pretty life changing.
Yes, yeah, sure. Sounds pretty good.
But it was also nice having like friends, so it was like there was like a piece of home. I wasn't like completely by myself, so I had like quite a few friends that were down there, so that was nice.
Yeah, definitely. At least you have got friends around. It feel more like a home.
Yeah. It was really fun.
But did you need a visa to go to to work there, or you just?
Yeah, so I applied for that before I left Canada, so everything was like good to go by the time I got there.
Was it an easy process? just apply for a work permit, or was a working holiday visa? What kind of visa was it?
So basically, you kind of apply for the jobs first, and then whatever place hires you, they do the permit for you. So you just send them whatever information that they need. I think you need like police background check and stuff like that, and then they take care of it for you.
Sounds pretty easy.
Yeah, it's like one of those places a lot of people from around the world go to. So I definitely recommend anyone that wants to like go live somewhere awesome for a while, like check out Grand Cayman, because it is relatively easy to work there. Like if you work in the service industry or something, and then you just have a blast. It was so much fun. Yeah, highly recommend it.
Is there like a specific time of the year where you should go or not to go?
No, it's kind of just gorgeous all year round. They do have like the rainy. Usually hurricanes don't hit that island, but I mean that the rainy season's like in like around this time, like end of summer, like in the fall. But I mean it's gorgeous year round, so you can't really go wrong. And usually the work permits I think they do like 6 month and 1 year ones. So definitely check that out. Yeah.
Okay. And just remind me, when you went to the Cayman Island, you already had a job, or somebody offered you a job, or you have to find it?
Yeah, no, I already had a job lined up. It was through a friend that we used to DJ with. So my friend Jeremy, he went down there first, and then the place that he worked was like a nightclub where he DJ'd at and bartended. So he set up the job for me and Landon.
Awesome. So if anybody wants to ask you any question, want to get in touch with you, is there any way they can? Yeah,
probably the easiest is on my Instagram, which is just at Lisa923. Make sure that's right.
Lisa923.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just put that in the show notes for anybody that wants to reach out to you.
Sure.
Awesome. It was a pleasure to have you on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Alrighty.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you enjoyed this short episode with Lisa. You can find the links to follow Lisa on Instagram and the immigration company she used to get her visa on the show notes and on our website. Do you want to be my next guest? Visit immigrantslife.com/yourstory. And if you'd like to support the show, you can share this episode and you can leave us a review. Thanks again for listening. Talk to you in the next one. Ciao.